Hi, I'm Joe Woods, and welcome back to another episode of Candid Cambell. I'm here with Dean Campbell for another episode.
Sure.
Dean, I know that our pub nights are starting again, and there also is a worry about binge drinking. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the pub nights are something that's done for seniors who are 21, okay, in a controlled environment. So I think that's an appropriate and responsible way for students to meet and socialize. We have our public safety there. We have folks there, and everybody should be able to enjoy a social life and have some time at the pub, and that's a good choice. And if you do it in a responsible way, what really has been bothering me a lot is some of the binge drinking that we have been having, and it's been particularly happening with our first-year students a lot, although it's not exclusive to our first-year students. The part that worries me more than anything is the consumption of the flavored alcohol, the flavored vodkas that are happening, and the Four Locos. They've been causing some problems on campus, and I don't know exactly what we can do as an institution to help it, because it comes down to making choices with students. We certainly have educated. In fact, in this past Rider News issue, there was a freshman who might be indicating that we educate too much. But I'm not sure we can ever educate too much. I think that the more we tell people, and we don't know how many people we help by that education. But there have been a handful of students that have been transported to the hospital, and typically when they're transported, what I find is they've been drinking the iced tea flavored vodkas or the cherry flavored vodkas or that, and I guess they're forgetting that it is straight alcohol. It's not cherry flavored mixer that they're putting it in with, or that, and that they are underage, and typically they're they're not seasoned alcohol users, and so they end up drinking too much. We actually had one student that was serious enough to be put on a ventilator this year. And I guess what we're trying to do is have students take responsible actions. Obviously, we do not condone underage drinking. We can't condone underage drinking. But for those who are of age or with their friends, we do want to make sure that they understand that they should be responsible for each other, that it is a shared responsibility. We have educated folks on the signs of developing alcohol poisoning. We've educated people on things where students can get in trouble. And we've implemented, not only here, but the New Jersey State has implemented a Good Samaritan, so we can take care of people. And so the idea is safety first, and take care of people first. And think about what you're doing. Make choices. We have a lots of information that says over 30% of our student body do not consume alcohol. There's a big misconception about that. And less than 12% of our students binge drink or drink heavily. Most of our students that do consume do so in a responsible manner. So it is not the norm that you have to go out there and drink. It's not the norm that you have to go out there and get, to the point of oblivion in order to have a good time. It's being responsible.
Well, that's great that we know that a majority of our campus is not like that, and we don't have to go out there and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Recently in the news, we've heard about the tragedy that happened at Rutgers. Could you share on that subject?
Oh, I feel my heart goes out to the family of Tyler Clemente, who is a student at Rutgers that committed suicide after what appears to have been as a victim of cyberbullying. The story has been all over, but the fact is that so many students, it's easy to bully people when you're at a distance. It's so easy to put on a message on Facebook or put a message on Twitter or put in someone's profile, a derogatory statement. It's so simple to do that because you're not there with the person. You're at a distance and you're not confronting. But those words hurt. And if we could think about the hurt that we have, and I compare it to the military, the difference between the soldiers on the ground and the soldiers that are in the air. When you look at the data on post-traumatic stress syndrome, the soldiers that are on the ground who see the killing and see the destruction, they're affected by it more. They have more post-traumatic stress. The folks who are shooting missiles from far away, don't see it, there's less post-traumatic stress syndrome for them, on the average. And it's like that. If we're talking to somebody and you call the names, you see the hurt, we're more apt to say, to hold ourselves back. We're more apt to not say the things that are so hurtful and not be able to be so harmful to people, and be able to talk it through in a rational way. When you do the cyberbullying, it's on there, it's done, and you don't see the hurt that it caused. You don't see what's going on. But it hurts just the same. It hurt enough where, in this case, it's believed that it was enough to drive this young man to suicide. We're working on policies. Everybody has policies, but we also have our code of community value statement. Our community value statement says no one walks these halls as a stranger, and that we respect differences among others because they're our strength. And that really is what it's all about. As adults, as professionals in training, which is what we are at college, we have to understand that we have to learn how to deal with interpersonal conflict, that there are differences, and we have to accept differences. We can debate differences of opinion. We can debate, we can choose friends that we want to hang out with and not hang out with, but we have no right to hurt people. And that's really where it comes down to. It's a matter of civility.
When we're looking at this topic, and you're talking about the different websites like Twitter and Facebook, does the administration, do they believe that there's something they can do to stop this? Because I don't know if there's laws, but can we actually do something to stop this from happening?
Well, we don't stalk Twitter or stalk Facebook in the students' vernacular, to try to find things. But we do have policies on our campus in our student code of conduct about harassment. We do have policies on fair use and of the internet, so we can react and respond to those. And I also want people to understand, in this particular case, some of the information has come out, and I don't know how true it is, but it seems to appear that the student who was being harassed didn't know what who to turn to get help. If you're being cyberbullied on our campus, we do, or any kind of bullying, if you feel like you're harassed in any way, you can come and talk to folks at my office, talk to your area directors in the residence halls, or your RDs, your RAs in the residence halls, talk to public safety. We will respond, and we have a history of responding. And I think we have the rules and regulations in place. More than that, we have the training in place for our students before, and we focus on the idea of civility on campus and working and building that community.
That's great that we have that in place.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps it up for another week of Candid Cambell, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Joe.